Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Truth, lies, shenanigans. 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 Tune in to TLS. Yeah, tune in to TLS. It's the TLS show. Coming to you live from the TLS show.
Hey, welcome to Truth, Lies, Shenanigans podcast. Social commentary, hot topics, amazing guests, ton of fun, and shenanigans along the way. This week's show, some great hot topics to talk about. Alec Baldwin gets manslaughter charges. Students are getting caught using artificial intelligence to do their homework. And hydrogen fuel is almost a thing. Before we get into the podcast, let me introduce you to my co-hosts. First up, unfortunately, the lovely Liz E is taking some time off and can't join us for a few weeks. But don't worry,
Miss you,
she'll be
Liz.
back in no time. But we do have our nature lover, gamer, rock star, coming to you from Ontario, Canada, Mr. Rob B. Rock.
What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday, and a special shout out to everyone celebrating the Lunar New Year or Spring Festival. Happy New Year!
Chinese.
It's
You're the rabbit.
right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Water rabbit?
I-
think.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm a rat. That's
You're a
all I
rat.
can remember. I'm a rat.
I forgot what I am. I think I'm an
Me
ox or
too.
something.
That's interesting to look up.
Yeah, it's something fun to look
Johnny,
up for
you're our
sure.
astrologer. You're supposed to know these things.
Yeah,
Not
girl.
off the top of my head. Not off the top of my head.
Well, I declare shenanigans and call it shenanigans on that. But it's been a pretty busy week dealing with a personal matter at my end, but I decided to use my downtime wisely. We got a lot more snow, and my wife and I decided to
wow.
really put it to good use. So Fort Jobert 2023 is now epic. We added more height to the fort, and we made a
Oh,
porthole and helped facilitate the transfer of wood. And for the first time ever, we added a snow
What?
slide with a sliding track. Yeah. So the track is about maybe 55 feet in total length. And we must have
What?
done about maybe 15 runs on it yesterday, sculpted it, refined it
No.
every time. But yeah, once we
That
get a little
is
bit more snow,
insane.
Are we looking at Jose going down the slide now?
yeah, so Jose's going down. That's my girl.
She's twirling around. Oh, Joe.
So
So
cool.
That
that
looks
was
so
an early
fun.
that's an early iteration. So we've sculpted the banks and smoothed them out. And once we get a little bit more worked out, I'm going to ice it a little bit, just in key areas so that you can go down the full length.
What?
Wow.
There's a fire pit.
Yeah. Got it.
That
Oh
thing
yeah.
Wow,
That thing is
D.
sweet.
Wow.
It's
long did it take you?
TNT.
How long did it take you?
Oh my God. The hours that, so I've used my snow floats, I've used shovels, I've used my snowblower, and
Wow.
just there's easily 30 to 40 hours of labor into that. Easily.
Wow.
And it's going to all melt away pretty soon.
It's like
Well,
a
I've
full
still
work
got-
week.
Oh yeah. Well, I still have at least another month or two of it.
That's
Come on,
true.
man.
That's true.
Yeah,
Did
absolutely.
did you forget where I live? She's in Atlanta, not me.
Yeah,
There's
because
no
it
snow
wouldn't
here.
even last a week for us. I think we had Snowmageddon and
No.
it was gone in like a week and a half.
The afternoon.
Yeah, Snowmageddon just adds a few feet to our season. That's
Right,
it.
that's it.
I
All
miss
right.
Blizzard.
All right. Next up, our college student model business owner streaming from Atlanta, Georgia, Gianni Storm.
Hey guys. So it has been a very fast and busy week. The time went like this. But this week I'm actually getting into some creative projects. I'm doing some creative things in the works. And I say like that, I say creative in a sense. Like I want to do production and acting jobs again, so I'm working on like an actor's reel and photography and stuff like that. So
Oh, I thought you were
I
talking
don't know.
about
I
that
just want.
background you got in the background. This is like creative work. I'm like,
Oh, you like
Yeah.
it?
she got all these roses in the background. Look at
Pink roses, just in time for Valentine's Day. But no,
It's beautiful.
different different type of creative, different type of more media production, kind of creative on set.
nice, nice, doing some
Yeah.
good stuff.
I'll keep you guys updated if I get into anything cool. Like if I do something cool, if you see me on if I get into a new show, I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated.
See, Latoya Blakely says, "I love the roses."
I don't know. I
Thank you,
want to hear more
Latoya.
about Hazel Valentine, Johnny. Hazel Valentine came and went.
They
What's going on,
just,
buddy?
I swear to goodness, they came and went. They never even asked about another, like, they
Episode.
never asked or called anybody. Yeah, they never called anybody about another episode. It just kind of simmered away. They do
Oh.
still have the footage. It's not,
They didn't do anything with it.
it's not put together.
All right. Well, the next show. We'll get you on the next show.
feels like.
Just see me in a better light. I don't want to be.
All right. And of
A
course,
less racy name. A
and of
less
cour-
racy name.
oh, Hazel Valentine.
right. The drug dealing sister. I think I'll have a different.
Is that what she was?
Yep.
She was like a gang member, drug dealer, but she was a boss, but she was sketch.
You could tell from the toque.
The toque. Oh, goodness. All right. All right. So, of course, I'm your host, Neo Nix. So, guys, a few weeks ago, I told you I was going to get back into shape because I had gone to that Christmas party at Posh Cycling and Fitness and was embarrassed. I felt a little embarrassed because of my tummy.
Yeah.
My tummy's a little bigger than everybody else's. So, yeah. No, I've tried a lot of diets over the years, but I've done like calorie counting, intermittent fasting, vegetarian, and I have a sweet tooth. And the only diet that's ever worked for me is paleo. Have you heard of it before?
Yep.
No.
Okay. Well, paleo basically you eat things that were available during the Paleolithic era, right? So like fruits, nuts, so hunter-gatherer type stuff,
Raw
fruits, nuts,
food?
vegetables. Yeah, right. Natural sugars like honey and maple, so it solves my
I
sweet
like
tooth
that.
problem, right?
Yeah.
No grains, no refined sugar, no dairy. So I started a week
Okay.
ago, right? I started a week ago, and it's like basically all you want to eat diet. I mean, you really can eat whatever you eat as much as you want. Just you got to eat the right things. I started a week
Right.
ago. I lost like 5 pounds already. So,
Oh,
I
snap.
haven't changed
nice.
like anything. I just
So
like,
were you eating a
Good.
lot of refined sugars?
Yep.
Is
and I think that's
okay.
the real thing. It's the grains and refined sugars that are the problem.
Okay.
So because I have
and
that
I know
sweet
that you
tooth.
like your sweet fizzy drinks. So what are you doing about that?
I don't drink. No, I don't drink sodas. I don't drink sodas.
Okay, good. Sodas are horrible.
Well, then you've put me on the spot unfairly in the past.
No, I don't drink sodas, man. I really, actually, I drink mostly water. That's the
Good.
funny thing.
Good.
I've always been like that.
Good.
But the good thing about the diet is like I'm never hungry because it's like I said, you can eat as much as you want. I mean, as long as you have the right foods in the house.
So do you
So it's
eat
just
like
more like constant grazing.
Basically, it's freaking
wait,
awesome.
do you eat do you eat meals? Like do you eat
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
sides?
Hmm.
But you don't eat like chicken or red
Yeah,
meat?
chicken. No, so I eat all the chicken. It's paleo, so they hunter gather. So they hunted meat. They hunted. They gathered like root vegetables. They have all that
Okay.
stuff. So yeah, berries.
Just not processed foods.
Right,
Like
exactly.
processed. Okay, fried and okay. I see.
I don't know, but at this rate, I'll be good to go by summer. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Get that. I gotta get this belly down. So
Got it.
I'm not too
Got
proud
it.
of that. I'm not too proud of that. So anyway.
Got it.
All right, let's get into some hot topics, guys. Let's move on.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, Johnny. Alec Baldwin caught some charges. What's up?
Okay, so for those that don't know, actor Alec Baldwin will be charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of Helena Hutchins. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She's a cinematographer on the set of the movie Rust. So Alec Baldwin allegedly accidentally shot her with a loaded prop gun. So this was met with a mix of emotions, as some quoted on Twitter saying, if you're charging the actor, you should be charging the director, all producers, the prop master, many others. And there's a chain of responsibility on a movie set. So my question to you is, who's to blame for the accidental shooting? And is this charge fair? Does this make sense?
All right, I'm gonna start with Robbie. I certainly have my thoughts on this, but go ahead, Robbie.
Well, in order to prepare for this, I had to educate myself a little bit because, well, I don't work on movie sets very much. But there is a person who is responsible for weapons and props, and they're called an armorer or a weapons expert. They're tasked with managing all firearms used on a set to ensure that they look realistic and they're appropriate for the setting on the film. More importantly, they're tasked with ensuring the weapons are clean, correctly loaded, properly kept, and safely handled. That sounds like a job description that falls into the realm of this story. Even when I was preparing for this, I found a job description from the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees in New York for a job description for an armorer. And that's exactly it. They're responsible for the transport, storage, and safe use of all weaponry and firearms on film sets. So if that's your job, how are you not the person who is responsible for this? Because if I'm the actor and you hand me a prop gun, or what I think is a prop gun, and I fire it at a camera person and it discharges in a violent manner that results in their death, how am I responsible for that? I'm an actor. I don't know anything about guns.
Yeah.
So I'm relying on the hired expert, the set expert for this. So do I think that, somewhere up the chain of command management, there's some liability?
Sure.
Yes, there's some liability, but they're not.
I mean, did
ultimately
they check his
responsible
background?
for
Did
it.
they make sure that he was? Are they following up with him? Are they doing spot checks or whatever? Yeah, of
And
course.
to be an armorer or weapons expert, there's no actual formal training for this. They
Interesting.
take experts from related fields. So I found like people who worked in law enforcement, the military, security,
Wow.
were often people who transitioned into this role. And there's a lot for them to learn on set, and they train them up. But there's no licensed or official training for this position. Should it be something that's a little bit more standardized? Because, if I'm going to be an electrician on set, I need to be a licensed electrician.
Right, especially when you're handling guns, weapons, any type of weapons, like even swords or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
type, like the archery. So do you think that so basically you're saying that it's a chain of responsibility
I
type of
think that ultimately it falls with the armorer, with the weapons expert on
Alone.
set.
alone?
So Alec Baldwin's not responsible.
The production company owns some liability, and that's why they have insurance. But the person that's responsible is the weapons expert, in my opinion.
I think the prosecutors were making the case that he was supposed to have checked his the weapon, and that was where he was negligent or something like that. That was.
Am I going to take the prop gun and look at it and go, okay, this is a standard round. This is a quarter round. This is what the hell do I know?
Jacqueline Robinson online wants to pointed out that the armorer was also charged, Johnny. I don't know if you mentioned that in your intro, but the armorer was also charged.
No, I didn't. Thank
Okay. Jose says, I'm having a hard time with this Alec Baldwin news. I feel like he shouldn't be the only one who should be made responsible. Something's not adding up with all this. And Latoya Blakely said, same. George Fournier says, how does a live round even get close to a movie set?
Yes.
Well, because the story around it, that gun was being used by the crew, either like, or they were using it for multiple purposes. The crew and the weapons expert were actually firing at cans and stuff, like they were using live rounds in the gun during an earlier time during that week. So to me, it's
Oh, so they were like playing around with the gun.
yeah. So
Mm.
ultimately,
That's
the weapons
wild.
expert needs to make sure that when it goes on set, that this is a prop gun in that
My thing
instance.
is, why was it even pointed at the cinematographer? I remember Alec Baldwin said in one of the interviews that he didn't point it at
Well, aren't
someone.
you like pointing it at the camera and stuff, and
He was
and he's hiding
pointing it
behind the
at the
camera?
camera.
You know, because you
Yeah,
got to make it look like you're pointing it at the camera, and so, you know,
I see. Okay.
and
that's
so
what
if they're
happened.
standing behind the camera, it's not unexpected that it would
But
go off and
but
hit the person behind the camera.
he said he didn't point at the person. He said he never pointed.
Yeah, he might have been pointing at the camera, right? He might have been pointing at the camera. He might have been pointing at a different spot, and it just went off. Because I mean, if you're not expecting it to go off or to be a live round, then you're not, you know.
Yeah.
So
Kevin
on,
Faxon's got a good question here, and I'm not too sure if either of you have the answer. So he's just saying if Alec Baldwin didn't kill anyone, the armorer should be responsible for a negligent discharge. But is Alec Baldwin going to jail? That's not something I came across when I was reading up on this.
not necessarily, it just depends on how much time he gets, if he gets any time at all. If he's convicted, and two, if he really gets any time, because it is an accidental. I mean, manslaughter is accidental, and it's basically negligence. But I mean, to that point, so for negligence, and this is where my take is, for negligence, you would have had to have some reasonable expectation that the thing you were using or doing was potentially deadly, right? You know, let's say I'm running around with a knife in my hand and I slip and fall and it slips out of my hand and hits Gianni in the heart and Johnny falls out and you know, my dumb ass is responsible for that because I shouldn't have been running around with a knife. And so even though it's accidental, I fell and slipped and fall, you know, I have some reasonable expectation that that is a deadly activity that I'm doing. This is something that potentially could kill someone.
So Neo,
You
what
hold
you're saying, it's not
accountability.
it's not the homeowner's responsibility in which this happened, or the knife owner's responsibility. It's your dumbass.
My
Huh.
dumbass.
Imagine that.
Right? I mean, but if I'm running around like I don't know, a bag of peanuts in my hand, and peanuts, you know, Rob's allergic to peanuts, and the peanuts hit Rob. Rob dies from anaphylactic shock. I'm not responsible because I didn't have any expectation that the peanuts were going to be a problem, right? I mean, I just didn't have that expectation. So I don't know. I don't think that you know, he was negligent in this. Maybe if we're looking at him as a producer, sure, there's some, as a producer, you're supposed to make sure people have good background checks, that they're not doing dumb shit with the guns beforehand, and there's some responsibility there.
But they're charging him as an actor, so
Yeah, and so that's yeah, I don't think that's necessarily fair. I don't think that he is necessarily responsible. Um, Latoya Blakely says exactly, Rob. I heard some people rumbling about how he shot her with it practicing, and that he shouldn't have been doing that. But what would have been the difference if the fatal shot was a castmate while the cameras were rolling? I agree. I think that's on the armorer. I mean, and if you think about it, I mean, for him, it was the equivalent of a toy gun, because a prop gun. I mean, it was basically not a live round. It was not dangerous in his mind. So there was no reason for him to have thought that anything that he did with the gun would be deadly. So why would there be
I know
negligence?
in Canada the rules are a little bit different. If
Tell me.
there is a firearm on set, then you have provincial police services at the very least who are taking care of this responsibility. So it's not something that's been privatized. It's an actual weapons expert who is there to ensure the safety.
good.
So I think that makes a difference if it's a third party that is completely neutral when their sole purpose is there to provide security, where the armorer or weapons expert might be feeling the pinch or the rush to produce. If it's not a happy production, then are they putting their full attention to detail? Clearly not.
Am I
There's definitely
am I was gonna say,
Go
am
ahead,
I
Johnny.
missing something, or does there need to be like live rounds on a production set? I know I'm getting into production
No,
literally, but it's like, why do we still need that? I remember when the actor, the Asian man, ooh, what's his name? I forget. Maybe you guys
Bruce
remember.
Lee's son,
Yeah,
friend the
he
Crow.
passed away.
the
Yeah, he
Crow.
passed away on set, and I was like,
I think
wow, they're
it's
still like,
Braden Lee or something like that.
oh, it
Brandon
was his
Brandon
son.
Lee. Yeah,
Oh,
Brandon Lee.
oh no. Okay, so
Bruce
yeah,
Lee's
he
son.
passed away on, yeah, by shooting. So it's just interesting that it's still happening. Like there's technology, you can make a gun look real like it's really shooting. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
But interesting.
So George Fournier says if the cast and crew was firing the gun with live rounds earlier during the week, that's all the more reason for checking the gun before the scene. I mean, so do we think that Baldwin should have been doing that? What do you think, Johnny? Baldwin should have been checking the gun?
To be honest, I feel like he does have some type of responsibility in this because he's the producer of the entire movie. Um, I think it just
Mhm.
goes to show more of his like work ethic and his, not necessarily his character, but more his work ethic, how he is on set and how he is in business. Because I feel like if that was me, I can only speak for myself, but if that was me in that situation, I would have checked all things. All things would have been managed and
But
organized.
Johnny,
I would
are
have
you
been,
going to be checking the camera to make sure there's film in it? Are you going to be checking the electrical panel to make sure that it's up to
I
code?
might,
Are you going to be
I
checking the
might,
rigging to make sure that all the equipment that's suspended over the set is rigged properly, that it's not going to
but
fall?
but to
You've hired experts to make sure that that happens so that you can focus on your
that's
job
true.
as an actor and as a producer.
That's true, but to play devil's advocate, when you're dealing with something like a gun, or say it was like we're dealing with an airplane scene, and we got to make sure the airplane panels, like I don't know anything about airplane panels, but
If the
I'm gonna
scene
make sure
called
the
for
guy that
you
knows.
But if the scene called for you to be driving a car, are you personally going to be checking the gas line? Are you going to be
Not
checking the
personally.
transmission?
No, not
But this
personally,
is
but
I feel like,
but you're going
I'm
to
gonna
ask
make
an
sure the
expert to do
person.
it.
yeah. I f-
Exactly.
like I
Yes.
say, I feel like his expectation was he was using the equivalent of a prop gun. I mean, a toy gun. I mean, that's
Mhm.
like we were using like if I mean he's an actor, right? But the equivalency to us as normal people would be like a toy gun, right? And so that's what he was just using. I mean, it would be different if he was using a real gun and maybe doing loop the loops with his fingers, or he had the gun in his hand and he knew there was a live round and he tripped and fell and they killed somebody. That's negligence because you've got to be really careful when you have a live weapon with live rounds that you know is live. You don't
Mhm.
you accidentally kill someone, that is manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, and he would be liable. And I don't know. I mean, there might be a case for him as a producer being responsible, but with that being said, I don't know. I don't think he gets a case. I don't think they convict him for this.
I
So
don't think it holds
yeah,
any kind of standard. Like I mean, any ground
yeah.
is
All right. One last
who's to
comment.
blame.
Based on the glee of some conservatives, I can't help but wonder if part of the decision to charge Baldwin was political. That's from Jacqueline Robinson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
And I would agree with that. I would agree
Great
with
comment from Kevin again. In the Army, everyone is a safety officer. And I know that that's a big thing in Canada with the health and safety. Safety is everybody's responsibility.
that. Absolutely. All right. Is this truth,
Truth,
lies, or shenanigans?
Ooh,
This
kind
is
of
more ongoing
sad.
shenanigans.
I'm gonna say shenanigans. I don't think he should
I'm gonna say
be.
truth and shenanigans.
I don't think he should be charged. The armor, without a doubt, the armor should be charged. So
Yeah.
no question in my mind. He's the most responsible. But I think there should be some liability, some civil liability for the people the producers. So somebody should get some money from the
Absolutely.
producers, without a doubt. So
The family.
Yep. absolutely.
Yep.
So all right, let's get to our next topic.
truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, guys. So we know that artificial intelligence is basically taking over the world, from Alexa to Google to, of course, robots. Well, there's a bunch of websites out there. Oh, I just talking to Alexa.
That's scary.
Oh, look at that.
No.
Speaking
See,
of
Alexa,
AI,
She
Alexa's
is
all up in my
scary.
business. Stop being all up in my business, Alexa. I'm gonna have to.
AI is taking over artificial intelligence.
Alexa's all up in my business. All right. So, but there's a bunch of websites out there that use AI to produce written content. Like all you have to do is write a few sentences or words about the topic, and the app pieces information together from the internet to write the article or essay or whatever it is. And they're amazingly well written, surprisingly coherent articles and essays, right? Sometimes it's really obvious that a computer wrote it because it'll be like repeated content, but sometimes it's really, really good. And of course, the kids are taking advantage and started using it. And they're using it to write their schoolwork, their essays, and where some kids have gotten caught because the AI may happen to pull some plagiarized bits of information off the internet. So schools are complaining big time because they're not actually doing their assignments like they're supposed to. And this guy, Sam Altman, he's the CEO of the company that owns ChatGPT, which seems to be the most popular one used by the kids. He says that AI is like calculators in schools. Calculators used to be banned, and kids like me had to do those manual calculations on a piece of paper.
Long division.
Yeah. Eventually, they modified the lessons and tests to include calculators. And he's saying it's just the same with AI. Teachers just have to modify the way they teach. So my question to you guys, is he right? Do teachers simply need to adjust to technology? Let the AI write papers for the kids? Should they modify the way they teach? Or is this just cheating, plain and simple? What do you think, Gianni?
Yikes, yikes, yikes. I'm biased because I definitely have used ChatGPT to write a few scripts for YouTube. And they came out they were amazing. I was like, wow, not better than anything that I could produce, but just like precise. It was just all in the right places. So I'm biased on that. But um, I agree that it can be used as plagiarism, but I think that we just have to adapt to the times. If we're being honest, like the teachers, they're going to have to develop some type of software, which I'm sure, actually, I believe they are developing software to find the
Yeah,
plagiarizers or find plagiarized
yeah.
the
material.
CEO said that he was going to devise ways to identify
Good.
ChatGPT plagiarism. So
Because it's almost like, I like that he used the calculator reference because it's almost like not necessarily a cheat sheet. It's just like it is technically a cheat sheet because it's gathering all the information in one area, but you still have to add your own context to it. It's not just as simple as just putting this and adding it to a paper and da da da. I think that we're going to have to grow with the times, teachers. I know that not everybody agrees, but I think that technology is coming and it's stronger and it's going to get, you know, more advanced.
by the way, Latoya Blakely online said Alexa said keep her name out your mouth.
Slap.
References to Will Smith, obviously. Yes, she did. She's up here listening to my conversation. Gotta watch. Gotta watch this AI, people. What do you think, Rob?
Oh man. So let me ask you a question. Would you want me as your plane pilot if I spent most of my 10,000 hours kicking back in the cockpit while autopilot did its thing? This is ridiculous.
I don't know, Rob. I'm going to answer your question right away. I don't know, Rob, because I don't know if autopilot gets to the point where it's better than or as good as the pilot, which it's not currently.
It's not. It always needs human correction. But
I don't know.
Like you were saying, as far as adapting, that the education system is going to have to learn how to detect these things. But to what extent? Because at the end of the day, if you're cheating, if you're having the software, the AI, write your assignments for you, you're not learning anything. you're regurgitating, you're hoping to skim by. So now when you get down to your final assessment for the year and you need to write a paper, you need to write a theme, you need to write something on your own. So if you have zero practice formulating your thoughts on your own, gathering your thoughts and writing them down in a cohesive fashion, if you're used to having a framework presented that you then fact check and regurgitate as your own, you're going to fail every time. And I agree, AI is a great time saver. I use it for our YouTube video descriptions and whatnot, and it generates great content, and I just need to go in and tweak it. So for that, it's a great time-saving tool, but I've already gone to school. I've received a formal education, and I've learned how to do these things. A calculator is a verification tool. It's a bad analogy because it's a verification tool or a means of completing complex calculations quicker. Okay? The engineer who uses a calculator can still do it on paper when necessary. If called upon, the engineer can still do the equation on paper.
For after 10 hours.
Thank you.
Dude, come on,
I think
man.
that, but
Go ahead, Gianna.
the thing is, I feel like ChatGPT or the other AI software doesn't, it's not like, oh, this is, people are plagiarizing now because of this. Like, plagiarizing exists already. And most people are plagiarizing, and most students are plagiarizing essays already because they're either, desperate or tired or overworked, or they just don't understand, the assignment. So it's like, that's already happening. I think that this is, if you look at it from the mindset of these students are going to cheat and this is an easy way to cheat, then that's what is going to happen. But if you look at it in the mindset of, let's see how these students could use this tool as a better means to maybe become better writers, or a better means to get knowledge that they would take forever to realize. I don't know. I just feel like how
becoming a better writer, you might develop the tools to become an editor. You're not developing the tools to become a writer because you're removing that.
And maybe that's a different passion that the child grows up and embraces.
In the new generation.
Right. I mean,
maybe
now
not. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm reading online. So Jack and Rob says, the problem is that some information is inaccurate, fosters laziness. Teachers can already tell when students use Wikipedia because they know the content can be manipulated and edited on the site. Latoya Blakely says, I'm calling it cheating. Dang it. We got outlines and rough drafts and peer corrections and final drafts of multiple page papers drilled into our heads in order to learn to write grammatically correct, coherent thoughts. It was annoying AF, but it taught us how to write our own thoughts in the best way possible. Now, these kids have AI writing it for them. In the words of one of my favorite drag queens, Bianca Del Rio, Bologna. And Kevin Thaxton says, this is just cheating. iRobot is coming. Agree with Rob, not the right comparison. I disagree with that, but I agree. I agree it's cheating. There's no question, because the assignment that was given to them was to write articles and essays, right? And that was the assignment given to them because this is the type of critical thinking that is important. It's important for them to learn how to express their opinions. I agree. And kids definitely aren't doing that. So, but I think he has a point, because the world is becoming increasingly dependent on technology. And as long as technology is around, future generations should be expected to incorporate technology to make life easier. I mean, I'm not giving up my spell correct. I can't spell for shit now because of my spell correction, but I'll be damned if I'm getting rid of it.
But Neil, stop.
That's a version of AI.
But stop and think about the news feeds, okay? Now, there are times when a bad headline goes out and it's got a spelling mistake or just basic stuff like that. And because of the laziness, because of this attitude of I want to adopt it quickly and get it out there, how many times have we seen a bad story just copied and pasted from one site to another with the same glaring errors? And you're kind of going, okay,
I've seen news stories like
least
that.
Resistant, right? This is the path of least resistance. But the product that you get,
I've seen it on major news sites.
I know, it's scary.
You can tell. There are many times where you can tell when AI is being used to create articles. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
mostly because you see repeated content over and over again. So and they don't even take, some of them don't even take the time to correct it. But well, I mean, think about like
Even
if
lazier.
think about like you have a scientist trying to find the cure for cancer. If you have AI doing the grunt work, researching similar work, solving complex calculations, then the scientists can focus on the higher levels of thought, complex issues, problems, and they can potentially find solutions
So
faster.
you have the AI doing the research assistant grunt work at a faster pace than a human can do it. That
Yeah.
is amazing because these people went to school to develop the proper skill set and knowledge to then interpret the data that's being chugged by the AI.
But the
You
point is,
need that formal
the point
training to
is
become
because
that
you have
expert.
technology, because you have certain technologies, now you're going to have to start learning different skill sets. You're going to have to challenge students in a different way. So like, yeah, it does make more laziness. It creates more laziness, obviously, for the lazy people. Lazy people are going to be lazy, right? But teachers simply need to challenge the students. So creativity, you have to create a different lesson plan. Teachers can come up with creative lesson plans. They can, I mean, just to give you an example, let's say the assignment could be, right? Use ChatGPT to write a paper. And then you make the student create references or bookmarks and make them actually search the internet to find where ChatGPT got the information from. It teaches them how AI works. They actually learn the information because they have to look it up, or at least how to find the information. I mean, it's just a matter of creatively saying, okay, we got this damn technology and it's changing the way we teach. We have to teach. You just have to change your lesson plan. Say, look, yeah, right, exactly. And that's what Gianni was saying. Same thing with the calculators. They said that eventually they let you use calculators, and you can use the calculators on tests now. Where I was shocked when they started saying you could use them for SATs. I was like,
SATs.
what? Yep. I was right. You know how much paper I used in my SAT?
Robin Johnson's got a really great point.
Go ahead.
Writing should become in class, so there's no time to use AI. These children want to be spoon-fed all the information, then get the credit. Nope, doesn't work that way.
That's a way of change. Then that's adapting. You change your lesson plan.
It's interesting to note, though, something else that I read. It said it stated, a generation trained to use technological tools to solve problems is just doing what it's told. So this is what I was trying to say about like teachers and educators and basically every industry kind of has to get ready and used to technology taking over in some way, shape, or form, as it has already, as we've seen with the whole COVID thing and everybody doing the work from home, and now everything is, even like a digital office manager or digital, you know what I mean, different things. So I'm just saying, you don't have to really like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, they just have to figure it out. I mean, the technology is not going away. Matter of fact, it's going to get better. Let's be real. We're going to have to be honest. It's going to get better. I mean, they're just going to figure out the AI is going to continue to improve, and you're not really going to be able to know the difference between an AI or generated content or not. So you have to figure out now how to adjust, because it's just going to get better. Like, shoot, the spell checking. I mean, use Grammarly. Grammarly is fantastic. Shoot, it writes full phrases and clauses for me. I'm like, thank you, Lord, because I got it all wrong. I don't need Lizzie anymore, the English professor. So.
Right.
Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself.
I got my Grammarly AI now. I don't need Lizzie. All right. So is this truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Ooh, this is truth.
I'm going with truth, man.
That's some truth laced with shenanigans.
No, it's truth. They need to change. They gotta adjust. Technology is changing the world. It's gonna keep changing. It's gonna keep getting. But they are cheating, and they gotta stop cheating.
They are cheating.
They gotta do the assignment the way it's assigned. I mean, come on, damn. Latoya Blakely says Lizzie will always be necessary.
Darn straight.
All right, final topic. Let's get into it.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
The Robbie, the hydrogen diesel engine is coming.
You got it. And you know me, I'm a sucker for emerging green technologies. So a group of engineers at the University of New South Wales claim to have successfully modified a conventional diesel engine to use hydrogen and a small amount of diesel. Now, they say that their patented technology has cut carbon dioxide emissions by more than 85%. So, credit for this amazing development goes to Professor Sean Cook and his team at the University School of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering. What's really remarkable is that this technology will reduce CO2 emissions in an industry that represents about 8% of total global emissions. So now, seeing as the mining industry has made trillions of dollars at the expense of the global environment, should the engine conversions be government subsidized, or should the mining companies be on the hook for this one?
I'm sorry for laughing while you were talking. I apologize, but Kevin Thaxton wrote Hindenburg in big letters. Because Hindenburg obviously blew up. It was hydrogen.
Yeah.
Wait, what
But
was your
there was
question,
no
Rob?
diesel in it.
Yeah, could you repeat the question? I apologize for laughing.
It's okay.
All right. So I was just saying that seeing as the mining industry has made trillions of dollars at the expense of the global environment, should the engine conversions be government subsidized, or should mining companies be on the hook for this?
Government subsidized.
Subsidized meaning that they only have the patent for it, right? Like they're the
No,
only
that they
ones.
pay for it. The
Subsidized
government
meaning
pays
that
for it.
they're getting some of your tax dollars to fix a problem that they've really contributed towards.
I see. That's a good question. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's no question. It
Yeah.
should be government subsidized. I understand that they supposedly created the problem, but the problem is created worldwide. It wasn't just the mining companies that created it. It wasn't just one or two industries that created it. It's global, and I think that Kevin Thaxton says corporations pay. I think corporations should pay as well. I think the
I
world
was
needs
thinking
to.
that too.
I think the world needs to be just invested in solving this problem. What were you saying, Johnny? You were thinking what?
No, I was thinking the same thing that Kevin was saying. I feel like the corporations immediately, because, and I know probably they have to mine for a reason, and it's a business, and everything is a business, and the government is a bit cool. But I think that since you started it, since you started digging, then you have to pay up. You did it. But I feel like people wouldn't have an issue if it was a part of our tax dollars, because it's something that is beneficial to us in the long run, in general. But what some of us may not know is that Australia is one of the world's largest coal exporters and the largest liquefied gas exporters. I did not know that. And
Mm.
both are obviously polluting fossil fuels. So basically, Australia is paying for that with the severe and frequent extreme weather that you were talking about, right, Rob? Like all of the bushfires and the heavy drought and stuff like that.
That's how
But
it's manifesting itself in Australia, and in India, we're seeing an increase in flooding, like during their flooding season. We're seeing even in
God,
California, we're seeing a rise in flooding. We're seeing a rise in droughts and fires. It's manifesting itself in very similar fashions globally.
Yeah.
yes,
So, I mean, as far as the hydrogen, though, I mean, I think there are pros and cons to everything, right? So you got fossil fuels cause global warming, but they solved the problem in their time, right? About how to get around and do things. Electricity also contributes to global warming, right? And then, of course, you have the potential nuclear disasters if you're not using global warming, or then you have issues with water if you're using hydro. It's there's always we're trying to produce all this energy for a large increasing population. And of course, you got windmills. Windmills kill birds. And
oh God,
that's a Trump reference if you missed it. All right. Anyway, I looked up how to produce hydrogen, right? And so the biggest issue is the primary resource for producing hydrogen is fresh water, which is awesome because when hydrogen burns, it turns right back into water, right? Which
Oh, good.
zero
Yep.
zero
Okay.
CO2 emissions. But
Cool.
first off, it takes energy to produce hydrogen, right? The most common way to
Solar.
produce. Okay, there you go. The most common way to produce hydrogen is electrolysis, which requires
Oh.
almost as much energy to produce as it does to produce hydrogen, right? So, from what Google is telling me, and you can blame the AI if my numbers are wrong, but it takes about 39 kilowatt hours of electricity to create hydrogen that produces about 48 kilowatts of energy, right? So
Wow.
we're talking about 9 kilowatt hours difference. But on top of that, water is a precious resource. So in many areas like California, for example, although it turns back into water, right, when it's burned, that doesn't mean that the body of water that it came from originally gets replenished. It just goes out into the air somewhere. So it's this water vapor to the air.
Right.
I mean, so you could use ocean water, right? Ocean water is plentiful, but then you throw in the energy required for desalination first. Then you're basically using the exact same amount of energy to create the energy using hydrogen. So, I mean, and Gianni mentioned
What
wind
about
and solar.
Rainwater from the sky.
I mean, that's fresh water. I mean, it has to.
That's just part of
like-
the cycle. That's the same water, Johnny.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm saying why can't they just collect rainwater and use that?
I mean, that's what it
As
is. I mean,
opposed-
Because that rainwater falls into your biosphere. It's what you need for your aquifer. Like it's all the same
Oh,
water.
it's needed.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't pursue hydrogen, clean energy, because obviously, if you're using hydrogen and it turns into water vapor, I mean that's fantastic because there's no more CO2, right? But but we do have to recognize that when we're solving one problem, we're also potentially creating other problems. We just have to be aware of those potential other problems.
But if
Sure.
we're going to tackle the salinization problem, because the Earth doesn't have a water shortage, we have a salt surplus. With 66% of the Earth's surface is water, but it's mostly salt water. We've got too much salt water. So if we can get a good handle on the desalinization, and there's other emerging industries, if it can be done using renewable and sustainable technologies, and we're
Like
lowering
solar.
our emissions. Yeah, and
Right.
as so long as we're bringing our total emissions down, that's the target, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
And I really think that in this instance, the corporations bear the brunt of the cost. I agree that as taxpayers,
I agree with
we
that.
all want what's
Not
better.
the brunt, but
So there should be, as a society, a small investment on our part, but the brunt of it needs to be taken up by the corporations. And I think that a great mechanism to hold them accountable is to put very strict conversion targets in place. And if the industry fails to meet those targets, then their mineral rights, which are held by the government that holds the land, then those mineral rights need to be renegotiated. So whether it's, you're getting X amount per tonnage, now you're getting X amount minus this because we need to take some money back because we need to offset your carbon footprint. You hit them where it hurts and they'll convert.
Yes.
So
They
Latoya Blakely
No doubt.
says, I made the improper designation of Trump. It should be, its proper designation is he who shall not be named. But I was thinking about we talk about climate change, right? And then I was thinking, if a butterfly is flapping its wings and cause a tornado, right? We know that chaos theory and all that good stuff. And, but think about what would be the impact if North America started suddenly pumping out billions of tons of hydrogen generated water vapor into the atmosphere. I mean, that's gotta
I know.
affect the climate somehow, right?
And I feel like in what way though?
I
In
mean,
a
because you're
positive way?
because you're just pumping, you're like creating steam nonstop. Let's say we all went to
Oh.
hydrogen, then you're just creating
Hmm.
steam, right? Basically, right? And so steam is just going to the atmosphere, and of course you're pulling water from one place to
It-
another. I mean, I would think that the climate would have to change.
Well, I mean, this isn't a
it
steam
would be more
engine that it's running on.
rain.
We're not running on steam. The
But-
byproduct of hydrogen fuel is water.
It's water vapor, right?
So
It's
the
steam
water vapor, I guess, or water
is-
runoff. You know,
or runoff.
True. So maybe it'll rain a lot if we start doing
It
that.
would, but where? That's the question.
Ah,
Mhm.
good point. Which it would have to track it
Mhm.
and see which direction it'll. That's interesting. That's a good point.
By the way, did you guys know that there is a car that runs on 100% compressed air?
No.
there are cars that run on just about everything. There
Yeah,
are some
I was-
amazing vehicles
yeah.
out there.
Called zero emission. Anyway, all right. Is this true?
I can only think of those zip cars with balloons and stuff.
Is this truth, lies, shenanigans? Good truth. Rob
is
always
Truth,
bringing
my
the.
friend.
Rob's our resident tree hugger, so bringing the good stuff.
I love playing outside. I want to keep it healthy.
I know, right? There you go. All right. All right. Well, that was a fun topic. I enjoyed that one. All right. So let's
Yeah, that
get
was
into our game show. This should be fun. All right. We're trying
Uh-oh.
something completely new. You've never seen this game before. So we're going to try to make it work. All right. Today's game is the Wheel of Impressions. Real simple. We'll spin the wheel and either Rob B, Gianni, or Rob B has insisted that I play along. And they just
Yay!
we'll have about 10 seconds to do impression of whatever comes up. I guess we're going to make the audience the judge. And if you do the impression right, you get a point. If you don't do the impression or it isn't any good, you get nothing. All right. And so this way we'll do it. So myself and Gianni will judge Rob. Rob and Gianni
Okay.
will judge me, and then me and Rob
Yep,
will
yep.
judge Gianni. Say if she did it right.
Okay.
You got
We
it.
did it right. All right,
Cool.
you guys
Well,
ready? This should.
Yes, we will judge your impression. We won't judge you.
Well, no,
We
we'll
won't
judge you
judge you,
too.
right.
We won't judge you. No judgment.
There'll be judgment. All right, Johnny, you're our resident actress. Are you ready?
gosh.
You're going first.
Maybe. Let's see. I hope I get Oprah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
Okay, you got 10
Wait,
seconds.
is that him?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's an easy one. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Are you ready? And of course, don't
I think-
forget, it needs to be verbal. We need to hear it. You can't just do the physical acting. You got to be verbal. Ready?
I only have like 2 seconds of him on my head. Okay.
Oh,
I'm ready.
I mean, 2 seconds is fine. All right, go.
Okay. I'll be back.
All right, that's good enough. You agree, Rob?
Yeah, I'll give her that. I'll give her that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Rob, you are up next. You ready?
What am I going to get saddled with here?
Oh, that's easy. Bart
Oprah.
Simpson.
All
I
right.
gotta,
Oh.
hold on, I
Good
gotta move
one.
my wheel of impressions thing out of the way. All right. Are you ready?
All right.
Go.
Come on, Homa. I just hit you with a chair. That's a pretty standard stunt.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That was
Almost,
good.
almost
That
had the
was good.
voice. Almost had the voice. We're giving it to him, Gianni.
I'll give it to him. That was
Alright.
good.
All right, we're giving it to him.
I'll take the pity points. I'll take the pity
The
points.
50 points.
The voice was good. The voice was good.
I gotta move
Now
this
it's
out the way.
Neo's
Give me.
turn.
It's my turn. So all right. I need to move that out the way so we can see who it is actually.
Move out the way, son. Move out the way.
Are you ready? Here I go.
Are you ready?
No. Oh,
Chris Tucker.
oh, this is gonna be
That's a
fun.
good one.
Are you
I'm
ready?
so happy you got a high pitched one too.
You got knocked the fuck out.
That was good.
You got knocked. Sorry, Rob. I had to cuss because that's the quote.
Goki. Yes. Now I gotta watch Friday.
Friday, right? All right. Are you
Yeah, I
ready?
give it to you.
right, Gianni, Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I gotta go. That would have been Michael Jackson would have been easy for me.
I don't
Ready?
know. Let me
Go.
think.
10 seconds.
Let me just think.
5,
I don't know.
4, 3, 2. Oh, I don't know. Are you giving it to a Rob?
You know what? That's a classic, distinguishable Michael Jackson line.
All right, we're giving it to I mean, you could have done. You could have pretty much done any of his songs.
I tried to like
You can
think of
just
his
spoken
voice
in a very soft voice.
in a
Uh-huh.
soft
Johnny,
voice.
you're doing
Yeah.
such a fantastic job tonight.
But I wanted to think
So
of
very
like
proud
a
of you.
line that Michael would say. I'm so very proud of you.
All right, you ready?
Shoot, you
Ready,
would've did
Robbie?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
Oh, this is great. Cardi B.
Oh
Or is
my
that
God.
Unspoiled Kid? Wait a minute. Is that Unspoiled Kid? Told
No,
you?
it says Cardi
Nope,
B.
Cardi.
Cardi B.
So Cardi B is at the top.
Ah.
Cardi B. Are you ready? Go.
Sure.
I wish I would have got Cardi B.
I don't really pay attention to Cardi B, but I know she got the big nails and the attitude, and she all about that ass and booty.
I'm not buying that. Well, okay. No.
You should have said ew.
I can't really. I don't know anything about this woman.
I've just been start singing her
That
song.
was good. That was a good try. That
Good
was a
try. Good try.
But
All right, I'm up next.
Bugs Bunny.
Oh, Doc.
Yeah.
That's all, folks. Yay.
The voice wasn't voicing, but
What's the voice? That's all, folks. Okay, that's pretty good.
okay, that was good. That was good.
What, do I get it or not? I guess you gotta let me know.
I give it to you. What about you, Rob? Do you give it to him?
He got the words
wasn't
right.
feeling
Didn't
it.
really sound like Bugs. I wasn't feeling it.
Well, you didn't get the words or the sound right.
Yeah, it's because you gave me garbage, not something iconic.
Oh,
Cardi
Latoya
is
Blakely says that's
iconic.
Porky Pig. Hold on.
Ah.
Oh, that
Oh.
is Porky.
You're right. That is Porky Pig.
Yeah.
All right, I got it wrong.
Kevin doubled down on that one too.
Bugs
Oh, they
Bunny
got
says
me. They
Doc.
got me. Okay, they got me. All right. Yeah, that's actually right. And I'm thinking about it. That is
That's
Porky
true.
Pig. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Gianni. Actually, so Gianni, you're in the lead. All right, this is the last round.
Sure
last
is.
round. Last round. You better get this right to win. If you get this right, you win.
Keep winning.
Okay.
Elon Musk before and after Twitter.
I have no clue. Let me think. I don't even know how he talks.
I mean, just you don't have to
Before-
get I don't think anybody really knows his voice.
Okay.
You just gotta get this.
Before
Just get his reactions down. You ready?
okay.
All right, go.
Can I get a different one? No.
No. Because I certainly would ask.
Okay, before Twitter. Who am I? Who is this guy? After Twitter. I
4,
own
3,
the world.
2,
I have no idea.
1. I'm not giving you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
You did Elon like I did Cardi B.
I think it's
Yeah,
worse,
fail.
actually. You probably did a better Cardi B. At least you gave me something.
Elon.
Oh, there we
That
go.
was
I
hard.
like this. I like this. Jose says, I'm rich, bitches. After Twitter. Latoya says, before Twitter, I'm the best at everything. After Twitter, maybe I suck a little bit.
See, I wouldn't. I would never know.
That's great. All right. All right. All right. You ready, Robbie? We still have a chance. We still have a chance here. You ready?
Shoot, I almost won.
Come on, give me a good one.
Neo tricked me.
Oh, you got an easy one. Captain James Tiberius Kirk. You ready?
Yes.
Go.
Who's that?
Commander Uhura. What? Please hail the Romulan ship. We need to find out their intentions.
All right. I think that's pretty good, actually. Definitely give you that.
I don't know who that person is, but
J-
you sounded like you were in character.
Captain
so I
Kirk from
like
the
it.
Star Trek. Oh, really? Gianni, you're making us feel
No.
really old, Gianni.
I've
Mm.
never watched the Star Trek.
Oh
Sorry.
my God, Gianni. You're an astrologer. You
And
got to watch Star
I've never watched the Star Trek.
the Star
I love
Trek.
it.
Like the Twitter, the Facebook.
The Google.
All right. So that puts Rob B tied, right? Tied.
Yep, that ties me up with Johnny.
All right, let's see.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, Chris Tucker again.
Spin
Oh, we're not
again.
gonna. We're
Spin
gonna roll
again,
again.
baby.
We're gonna roll again. We're not gonna do.
Roll them bones.
We're not gonna repeat. This is easy. You ready? I'm ready.
Will Smith.
This is easy.
Get my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
And Neo's really leading into the profanity now.
Hey, I can't help it. These are quotes. These are quotes. These are direct quotes.
Oh, man.
I don't know any quotes. Let me think. Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, Johnny. Well, here we go. You ready? No. Well, let me see. This is the last
got
round.
one
We're
for you
all
guys.
tied. So this is the absolute last round. Matter of fact, we're just going to pick one and we're all going to do an impression. Whoever does the best.
Oh,
Oh,
Whoever
cool.
does the
that.
best gets it. You ready?
Okay.
all right. Oh.
And we're gonna
Wait,
go
so-
online. We're gonna go online and see what they say. Oh man, we're gonna pick a different one. Man versus woman with a cold. All right, pick a different. We're gonna pick a different. Something more fun. Oh, Jack
Yes.
Nicholson, the best Jack.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she say who?
The Shining,
Jack Nicholson.
anger management, one of
Oh,
the Joker
okay,
in the
okay.
first Batman movie,
Okay.
All right,
or not the first Batman movie, but the first
All right.
90s Batman movie.
I gotta see if I can get enough spit on my lips before I do mine. Hold on.
I don't know. Okay, let me.
All right, I'm gonna go
Can I do
first.
Will
I'm
Smith?
going first. You can't handle the truth. All right.
That
All
was
right.
good. Solid.
All right. Let's go with Rob B. Robbie, you look like you're ready.
All right.
I'm not ready at all. I can't do this.
Well, all right. My Jack Nicholson's kind of on point.
Uh-oh.
He's
Uh-oh.
not too bad at all. Jack's
That was-
kind of a classic voice. He's been in cinema forever. Kind
Okay. All right. That's not bad. I mean, it would have been better with a classic quote, though. Come on.
Come on, man. I'm giving you an impression. I'm not copying.
You
I'm
got
giving you an
it.
impression.
All right, Gianni. Yeah, are you Googling?
Oh, God.
Do I see you Googling? I see you Googling. Johnny's up here Googling. He's like, who is?
That's Jack and his
I know
classic
him.
smile.
All right. Latoya Blakely says, oh, wow, Rob, that's all the way on point. Jacqueline Robinson, you
Good
can't
job.
handle the truth. All right. All right, Johnny, you're up. Jack
Go,
Nicholson.
Johnny, go,
Jack
go,
Nicholson
go.
quote.
I can't do Jack Nicholson because I have no clue of anything that he's done.
All
So
right.
can I do Will Smith again? Can I do Will Smith like the first one I had?
What do you think, Rob? We're going to let her do Will Smith?
Oh, sure. You can do whatever you want.
Go-
This is like the
Or do
AI.
Will Smith.
This is like the AI question. The assignment
Oh.
is do a Jack.
So go ahead. We want to see
Nicholson
your
impression. You
Will
can do
Smith
whatever you
impression
want.
anyway. We want to see your Will Smith
Do
impression.
Jack Nicholson. I'll do Will Smith. Okay, so it's more in West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Okay.
Okay. All right. So that was a good Jack Nicholson not. All right. So it's between me and Rob. Who won? You got to put it online. Everybody who's online, go ahead and
I
put
think
it in. Who between me and Rob? Me and Rob. All right. So we're gonna come back. We get the answer before the show ends. Find out at the end of the show who the winner is between me and Robbie. All right, let's get in some shout outs.
that was a hard game.
That was fun. It was your idea, Johnny.
It was.
The actress.
I thought you were gonna put like females. Okay.
All right, Gianni Storm.
Shout out to the audience and remember to always give love so that you can receive love back, and not just to receive love, but just to keep high love and high vibrations in the air.
I love it. I love it.
I like that.
Robbie?
Shout out to my PIC Jose. Thank you. I love that we still love playing like kids and enjoy a
Aw.
happy life lived simply.
Love that.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, and my shout out is to Lizzie. Lizzie, we're missing you. Hope you get back soon. We look forward to having you when you do get back. All right, and looks like the winner for the game is Mr. Robbie.
Always.
Good job,
Cheating.
Robbie. Cheating. Robbie's cheating.
I had to throw it in there.
All right. So that is officially all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. We hope that you learned something, gained a new perspective, even got some laughs in. We will be back live next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, or listen to new episodes of the podcast on Tuesdays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can always check out our recorded live episodes. Subscribe to us on YouTube using TLSShow.com. Also, a reminder, podsnetwork.com, P-O-D-Z, network.com, has a beta launch this week, Monday. Please sign up at podsnetwork.com, test it out, make suggestions for improvement, let us know what you think. And our winner for the final thought for today's show, Mr. Robbie Rock. What's up, Robbie?
All right, final thought. If you don't already subscribe to a credit monitoring or identity theft protection service, do it today. It is more valuable than you could possibly imagine if ever you become the victim of identity theft.
Wow.
Good to know. Especially in this
It's-
technological
I told you,
age.
everybody wants to be like Robbie. All right, so thank you, Robbie Rock, Gianni. But most importantly, we need to thank you for listening to our shenanigans each and every week. Thank you very much. Have a good week, everyone.